So, if you like rhythm games, if you like games because they're pretty, that is always my go-to for just anything. Genuinely, it is my favorite game. It's not got that much of a story, but it is the prettiest game I have ever played, and also one of the most fun. Next up, Monster Prom. The funniest game I have ever played, and just generally, I used to consider it my favorite game. Then Sayonara Wild Hearts came along. Oops. But it's also one of the games that affected me the most. It is the most heartfelt and also the most slapstick and stupid and wonderful game I have seen. Can I pull up the trailer? Yes. I sincerely apologize about the list volume. Oh, yep, okay, you're just not going to be able to hear it. So yes, multiplayer but visual novel. It is genuinely such a unique take on this sort of thing. And again, if you're into visual novels or just being gay as hell or whatever it might be, come on. Y'all are here, y'all know. That is my suggestion to you. It is genuinely one of the funniest, stupidest, and most heartfelt games I've ever played. Next up, we have I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. This was actually shown last year at Momocon. Like, literally, it was on the display floor, just downstairs, literally last year, and that's what got me into it. And, well, it's the most hopeful game I've ever played. Along with just being a visual novel where choices actually matter. It's also really pretty. Alright, so this is another visual novel, as I said, where choices actually matter. There's so many things that I played through this game just about 8 different times, and there's still things I'm discovering, there's still different routes I am doing, and it's genuinely one of the funnest games I've ever played, along with actually being hopeful for a post-apocalyptic scenario, you know? Alright, and finally, one more here, if anything would load, please, I beg of you. Alright. Paradise Killer. This one is absolutely wonderful. Where did my downloads go? please. Oh, the joys of not giving free Wi-Fi. Everyone has cool names. This is hot. If that doesn't convince you to play the game, I don't know what will. So yes, as it said, an open world mystery where you literally can accuse anyone provided you have enough evidence to do so. It is genuinely one of the most interesting worlds I have ever explored. It's a sort of, I don't even know how to describe the gameplay other than it's sort of a first-person mystery detective game, like you're playing Phoenix Wright, except it's first-person and open world. That's the best way I can describe it. And also, again, you can accuse anyone provided you have enough evidence. And you can choose to end the game whenever you want. It is really, really interesting, and again, one of the most interesting worlds I have ever explored. I'm not going to get into it too much for spoiling too much, because it's just genuinely that crazy. But it's just not like anything you have ever seen before. And yeah, so those are my biggest 4 recommendations. Is going to be Sayonara Wild Hearts, Monster Prom, Teenage Exocolonist, and Paradise Killer. Those are going to be my biggest absolute you must play of these sorts of things. But again, you can look for any game anywhere. There's so many games out there that you can find literally just searching whatever tag you want. You want a dating sim where you murder people and have to get away with it. I guarantee you there is one out there. What is it called? I believe it's called Overboard. But I promise you, no matter how specific you're going to get, you can find a game for you. And I think that's the best thing around indie games, is that there's just so much out there now. There's so much interesting things, so much heart anyone has ever put into these sorts of things. And you can just compare it to a AAA experience where you're going to pay now $70. I have opinions about that. Yet I still have 80 hours in Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sorry. But, I mean, you can get any of these games. I'm pretty sure all of these games here, I believe it's $15, $20, $30, $25. And again, those are the games I just suggested. You can get so many games for under $5 that are genuinely life-changing. And just trying to go out there and look is, I think, the most important thing. And with Steam's new search system, please just use that. It's genuinely incredible. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'm going to open up for a Q&A, and if you want any more recommendations based off of just my general game knowledge, although I have, if you have any particular questions about genre or anything, I have plenty of opinions. Yeah, what's up?
This may be a little much to get into, but would you consider running a second channel on like the history of modding?
Ooh, so question about if I'm going to talk about the history of modding. That is a very fun subject. I absolutely adore that sort of thing, and you know, with modding being such a huge thing, especially for games such as like Gary's Mod or even just like old Pokemon mods, and even new ones coming out, such as like the Pokemon Emerald roguelike. That is very interesting, and I don't have enough knowledge on myself, but is definitely something I would love to look into.
What would you suggest just after playing Amori.
Well, if you haven't played Undertale, first off, Undertale. Undertale, Deltarune, obviously. After Amori, I really liked Ikenfell. That's my other JRPG recommendation. But aside from that, let's see. Aside from Ikenfell, also Chicory has a similar sort of deal. I absolutely adore Chicory. I should have had it on here. But Chicory, I think I have it on a previous slide.
You have it on the comparison slide.
Yeah, I know. Where are you? Chicory, yes, this one. It's basically a game where the whole world is a coloring book. And it has a lot of interesting, a whole load of really crazy story, and just generally really, really feel good. There's a lot of shit parts, there's a lot of depressing parts, but it's genuinely also one of my favorite games.
So like, if they like Amori and like the whole like depressing RPG maker games, am I like the Lisa series, Lisa the Faithful?
Oh yeah, Lisa is also a good suggestion, yeah, for that sort of thing. One shot's also a good suggestion. You.
Out of the big RPG maker horror boom that happened a few years ago, which one's your favorite?
Oh goodness, I am not one to answer this question. I'm gonna be honest with you because I don't like horror games. I know, how could I? Especially when, RPG maker games are like a huge thing with the indie scene, and usually for people's gateway drug into actual indie development. But probably, I mean, if I had to say, I don't know many, so if I had to say something, I guess if you would consider Omori, even though it's technically not in the RPG Maker engine because Omocat's crazy. It is? I could have sworn that she made her own. Okay. Well, never mind.
RPG Maker MV.
Okay. I saw you had a question.
Do you have any recommendations for games similar to Citizen Sleeper?
Citizen Sleeper. Ooh, that's a good one. So recommendations based on Citizen Sleeper. For those who do not know, Citizen Sleeper is a visual novel game where it's based off of dice rolls and you are in like a sort of space station as an android. It is a really cool one. If you are down for it's a visual novel more than anything else. I couldn't get into it too much due to all the reading. I know, funny because I have all the other visual novels on here, but so based off Citizen Sleeper, I would say probably Teenage Exocolonist for sure is like my biggest up for if you like Citizen Sleeper. It's very similar in that sort of, again, choices matter type deal, and getting all the different types of endings and stuff. So that would be my definite.
Can I recommend something?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a game that a very good friend of mine is working on. It's planning to release in July, I believe, called Ventures. They're doing it as a school project.
Oh, nice.
It's
Okay.
kind of like a, let me read what they just sent me. Is where you have a character, you just go around exploring, looking for clues about a missing parent.
Ooh.
Talking to people, gathering little spells.
Right.
And it's really cute so far.
Okay, what's its name?
Venture.
Ventures, so, pronoun? Pronoun.
He.
So he has a suggestion for a sort of mystery game where you run around and collect clues and try and figure out what happened to your missing parent, named Ventures. It's coming out soon. You.
Have you heard anything about the return of the Momocon Indie Game Awards showcase? I think they canceled it last year.
I've been trying to figure that out, and being a panelist, you would think I would know more than you. I don't. I don't know anything about it. I've been trying to figure that out because it was a huge thing, and one of the reasons why I actually ran this panel for here, so we can get more knowledge about all that, but I have no clue right now, and I have been trying to talk to, everyone up in Momocon executive, but I don't know anything right now. You behind, yes, you.
besides anything you recommend here, anything else you want to recommend to us?
Okay, well, particularly Obra Dinn is the other, like, big thing I was going to make a full thing on. And it's more publicized, so that's why I didn't go off too much about it. But it is the best mystery game I have ever played. It is, I'm not going to go into it too much, but where you run around an 1800 ship trying to solve the murder of everyone on board. And that is all I can say, but it is genuinely, if you can get past the fact that it is basically black and white, it's so incredible. That is definitely like the biggest other thing on here that I would very much suggest beyond Chicory and these four.
The RPG Maker bit has the Orphan Maker recommendation too. This one's a few years old. It's called Luxar and Allure. Anyone here is familiar with it?
Say it again.
Luxar and Allure.
Luxor and Allure?
Luxar and Allure.
Okay, got it. Luxor and Allure.
It's an RPG Maker game. The style is kind of like mechanics kind of Lufia-ish, or kind of Lunar-ish, and a cast full of game.
Hell yeah. I'm sure everyone will love that. So Luxor and Allure for RPG Maker game.
And also, I don't know if this one is indie or not, but I saw a Dyson Sphere program up there.
Again, it's nebulous. It's a AA game. If you were to looking into that sort of thing.
Okay, I bounced off of that to Factorio.
Yeah, Factorio is obviously the big one for the factory building genre. That's why I put up Dyson Sphere program, because people know less about that one, and I think it has a more interesting system. But also, finally, to round that out, Satisfactory is my personal favorite of factory building games. You, and then you.
Just a suggestion, little recommendation game for everybody. It's been recently coming back into life, thank goodness. It originally released in 2018, Fear and Hunger. Not sure if everybody else in the room has heard it, but they recently got a mod for the more triggering content. So if you're sensitive to sexual violence, you can play it now. It's very punishing. Like, imagine a Soulsborne game, but it looks like RPG Maker, and it has, you can die in so many ways.
I hate that, but there you go. Fear and Hunger. If you want to hate yourself. You first, and then you.
What was that one called again?
Fear and Hunger.
Yes.
You. Oh, did you have something? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but I kickstarted a game that is self-described as an anti-dating simulator. It's called I Just Want to Be Single. And it's a text game where you play as a high school student who moves to a new high school, but you're asexual, so you don't want to be in a relationship with anybody, but everybody wants to be in a relationship with you. And you have
That's pretty good.
You have to manage.
I just want to be single. I just want to be single. The anti-dating sim. That's great. You and then you.
I only got through this game just recently, like literally before I got to the convention.
Right.
I picked this one up because it was like highly recommended by someone else. It's this game called Unsighted.
Unsighted is incredible.
It has like it kind of seems like it's inspired by like Nier Automata and like Zelda and Dark Souls and all that.
Yeah.
The one thing that apparently like stood out to me is that there is an achievement for petting a dog like 5 times.
So, yeah. So I have.
Yeah, I guess that's a 10 out of 10.
No, it's genuine. Just for the dog. Yeah, no, Unsighted is incredible. If I had more, if I knew how long my panel was actually going to last, I would have more about just generally Metroidvanias, because that's my favorite type of game. So.
This is more closer to the Psychonauts, like more middle market double A thing. Play Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds, yeah. Outer Wilds, I bounced off Outer Wilds, but it is genuinely, like, I have heard so much good about it. It is one of the best games I have heard for so many people. I personally didn't enjoy it, but it is a mystery game where you're out in space exploring just what is going on in a time loop. It is genuinely incredible, and I personally don't like it, but that is something that's very huge.
What was that called?
Outer Wilds. You.
Okay, so honestly, like I don't play a whole bunch of indie games. I don't play a whole bunch of games in general.
Right.
But one that I really enjoyed watching gameplays of.
Right.
A lot of y'all probably heard of it. Off, the one with the batter.
Yeah. No, more. So yeah, isn't that also an RPG Maker one? Yeah. So RPG Maker Off. I have heard many great things. I know she has plenty to say about that. She's all about RPG Maker games and stuff. So I have heard it's really, really good. You in the back and then you. Yeah.
The one in the back.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's an indie game or would be a double A game.
Right.
I just picked up Strange Horticulture.
Strange Horticulture? Yeah, no, that's been on my radar for a while.
It's a good mystery game. I'm playing it on the Switch, which isn't great. Play it on PC. There's a lot of small things you gotta click.
Right, no, Strange Horticulture is something that's been on my radar for a while. It seems pretty interesting. You.
I know one indie game I've played in the past is it's called Baba Is You.
Baba Is You. This is again, it's been so well publicized, I didn't want to even mention it. And also for the fact that it is too damn hard for me. But Baba Is You is in fact an incredible puzzle game if you like your brain to melt. But also just like fucking around and finding out. It is an incredible game. Did you have something?
I did.
Hit me.
I just thought about this. So, games like Hi-Fi Rush, because it was published by EA, is it still considered an indie game?
This is something I had so much trouble with. So, Hi-Fi Rush, a game that was published by Microsoft but made by Tango Gameworks, a studio of just under 50 people. Where does it fall? I have been having trouble with that a lot because it is one of my favorite games was it this year? I think it's this year. Yeah, I mean, genuinely, I have put 70 hours into it. But I didn't know what to do about it because, again, it's published by Microsoft, one of the biggest companies and gaming companies in the world. So I didn't know where to put it. If I had to say, it's probably in the space where Life is Strange is. It's probably around there. But if you are okay with spending $40 on a action and rhythm game, it is fucking incredible. You and then you.
Have you ever played, I think it's Highway 98 or 96?
Highway 96. I have not played it, but I have heard many good things about it. One of my favorite YouTubers has made many a video essay about it.
It's got some good characters, like a heartfelt story, but you play as different kids trying to leave the country, and so like you can die in the process of it, but the goal at the end is to escape the country, and you just play as all these kids trying to leave the country.
That is really cool. Thank you. You.
Do you have any thoughts about Hylic?
Hylic? Oh. I think I am not. It's not accessible enough for me, but I have great respect for it. So Hylic is from what I understand, do correct me if I'm wrong, it's like a little adventure game where every single character and just generally the entire environment is made by claymation. And it's, from what I understand, it's a little adventure game. I think it has RPG mechanics. And it is dense, too dense for me, but I have heard it's very, very good. You.
Would you consider the modern Binding of Isaac to be indie?
So, yes, I believe yes. Obviously, we're going to consider the Flash one made exclusively by Macmillan. Yes, obviously. Rebirth, probably mainly made by Macmillan. Yes. Afterbirth Plus and onward. It's a really hard thing because, like, he just started getting so many people on his team. I would still consider it indie because it's pretty much headed exclusively by Macmillan. But I would consider it indie, but it's definitely towing the line.
This is just a recommendation. I'm pretty sure they're indie, but they're horror games. Miso and Mad Father. I think they're pretty popular.
Miso and Mad Father. Mad Father made the rounds for a long while. I'm sure like half of us have probably watched YouTube playthrough of it. At least I have. No, Mad Father and yeah, those are both really good for the RPG horror scene. You.
A recommendation game I really like that's a rhythm game is Everhood.
Everhood. Ooh. So Everhood is a rhythm game, a rhythm action game where it's like the reverse of Guitar Hero is the best way I kind of want to put it. Where you're on a little grid board where you're dancing around the bullets that fly down. I absolutely love it, but just be wary, it is incredibly psychedelic. It is incredibly psychedelic, but it is very cool, and definitely one of my top games from the past couple of years.
Definitely one of the games you play after Undertale and Ori.
I don't know if I would agree to that. If you like rhythm games, put that on the list if you like the Undertale realm. But I think it's a little too psychedelic and a little too non-concrete. It is very, very abstract, I think. Anything else? Any recommendations?
Have you heard of Shadows of Doubt?
Shadows of Doubt. That's actually not one I have heard.
Yeah, so it's this game that just went into early access, I think, a week or so ago.
Right.
And it's this open world kind of voxel detective. Where you just stumble across crimes, and it's just like, oh, cool. Let me just bust into every apartment in this building and figure out who committed this crime.
Right. No. I admit I didn't remember the name, but I have seen this on Steam passing about. Yeah, Shadows of Doubt does seem like a really interesting detective game, especially if you're into that sort of voxel cubic style. I definitely have seen a lot of good stuff around that.
Quickly adding on to the Miso and Mad Father, Eve.
Eve?
Yeah.
I believe that's spelled I-B, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's it called? The art museum, all that jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
She knows better than I. No, I mean, pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
A classic.
One of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is considered indie, but any recommendations for people who like the Shantae Have Teen Hero series?
Shantae. So the first obvious recommendation is probably Monster Kid or Monster Kid, something like that. It's like Cursed Monster Kid or something. I'll pull it up in a second. But it is made by, I believe, a lot of the same team who made Shantae. And it was originally just a property based surrounding it, Shantae stuff, but it just became its own thing. That is my first always recommendation for games like Shantae. And otherwise then is going to be just depending on what type of gameplay you're looking for, because Shantae does have some Metroidvania elements, so I could say like Hollow Knight or something. But if you're just looking for a adventure action game like that, Monster Kid I'm gonna chill till I die over Chicory. I realize how much I love it, and I feel bad for not including it as a full thing. Please play Chicory.